Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking Love and Marriage Huntsville. You guys know why you are here. Today we're talking because we need to address some rumors apparently that's being alleged on whether or not the show's been canceled and some other things that are going on. And so we're going to talk about it. I personally didn't really want to, but here we are. So there's a few rumors that are going around. There's rumors that the show's been canceled and that they're just going to let the rest of the episodes play out or whatever. There's another rumor that the cast has not received contracts yet and that they're waiting for the rest of the episodes to play out and the reunion, and they'll see what happens from there. And then there's rumors that the Scotts are getting a spinoff to feature back Letitia's mom, which, okay. And that's kind of the gist of it. So, a couple of things, right? And I say this, wholeheartedly, because I think the person that started this rumor, or where this is coming from originally, was originally a alleged Mel fan, alleged Mel stan, and so apparently what also was being alleged is the reason that the show is being canceled is because Mel came for Carlos King. Now this is where, again, we have to consider the sources, you guys, because Martel comes for Carlos King every other month, calls the show fake, says everybody's actors, dares Carlos King to fire him, and Martel is right back on set filming as if nothing happened. So, I refuse to believe that if anything did happen to the show at this point, it had anything to do with Mel coming for Carlos King when Carlos King has no problem coming for Mel. But I say consider the source because the timing is interesting, right? We know at least in a few weeks the show's going to be back for the last 15 episodes, and we know pretty soon they're going to be off in LA filming for this reunion. I don't understand, though, how you guys pick and choose what you guys want to believe from certain people, but then from other people, if you don't like what's being reported, you automatically call them a liar. Here's the thing. As much as we drag this show, I actually don't believe Carlos King wants the show to be canceled. And here's the thing as well. Love and Marriage Huntsville, say what you want. Out of all of the spin-offs, it's Carlos King's most watched reality show. So if Love and Marriage Huntsville goes, that effectively means all of these other shows he's trying to make fetch happen with on OWN are going to go away as well. Love and Marriage DC is allegedly on hiatus. They're trying to find new cast members, apparently, but even they barely averaged 200,000 views this last season. So, nonetheless, I would think that that would have been canceled as well if it's really truly about the ratings. And then some people are trying to blame the lawsuit. Well, the lawsuit would allegedly shut everyone down. And why would you give the Scotts a spinoff if one of the Scotts allegedly is a part of this major lawsuit? Like, we have to put our thinking caps on. We have to critically think. I understand, it's Friday, and some people, may have already been tuned out of work, or some might not be working at all, and come up with these conspiracies. Here's what I think, and I'm going to take the Winter Wonderland school of thought, because that is the logic that makes sense to me. Here's what I think is going on. Do I think some people in the cast may be speaking to bloggers? It wouldn't shock me. It would not shock me at all. Do I think relatives of the cast are speaking to bloggers? Oh, absolutely. But as much as somebody's mother runs their mouth on Instagram and YouTube, 24/7. Do you think if there was a spin-off that they wouldn't be bragging about it right now? All of their videos, they're upset that they cannot get through to production to try to get back on the show, so they spend their time bashing Mel. That they can't even get an answered phone call. They hear from fans that they miss them being on the show, but they can't even get a return phone call from the showrunner. So, what would the spinoff about the Scotts entail? Featuring Tisha's mom, when her entire existence is her beef with Mel. What would the Scotts spinoff look like when they're barely being featured on the flagship show? Sonny, Moses, and Destiny are getting more screen time than both sets of the Scotts right now. Trisha, Ken, Marquez, and Martel are getting way more screen time than both sets of Scotts right now. The Scotts have turned into furniture, you guys. Furniture giving sideline commentary on everyone else's issues. So how would they get a spinoff exactly if their screen time is less and less and less? Can you make it make sense? So here's my theory, like I said, because I'm going to go with the Winter Wonderland School of Thought. Shout out to her. I'm going to go with the winter approach as to what this is. What this is called a negotiation tactic, you guys. The show's on the bubble. There's been no announcements per Carlos King himself regarding his reality shows on a recent interview. He said, and I quote, reality TV is a funny time right now, and that a lot of shows are in limbo on whether or not they want to get renewed or continued or whatever. That's what Carlos King said on his most recent interview with a YouTuber. So reading in between those lines tells me that Carlos King's shows are on the bubble because his show on the We Network, Bold and Bougie, hasn't even been renewed yet, allegedly, right? We don't know if it's going to get renewed or not, but I mean, the ratings weren't that good to justify a renewal, but nonetheless, all of Carlos King's shows are on the bubble, essentially. But I think two things are at play here. I think this is a negotiation tactic to try to, increase, the salaries of some of the cast members. And the cast members and their teams trying to fight for their place on the show, or trying to get more money on the show or whatever, or trying to negotiate what they can contribute in a future season, what storylines they can give. And some people may allegedly be utilizing certain bloggers to push this narrative that the show is gone, so that people can come running to watch the show on these last 15 sets of episodes. So that's the other part of this, right? Of the Winter Wonderland School of Thought. One is a negotiation tactic, right? But the other is so you can tune in to the last 15 episodes of Love and Marriage Huntsville and the reunion episodes, so the ratings can go up. And then they can get that article out there that the show's been picked up for another season. It's almost like manipulation tactics, if you will. Right? Because how many times has there been rumors of the Scotts getting spinoffs since Letitia's mom's been on the show? There was even rumors that the Fletchers were getting a spinoff. There's all of these rumors that are never substantiated. But I see the game. And as much as Carlos King enjoys sabotaging the show, I don't believe he wants it canceled, because it is his most viewed show out of all of his shows. So it would be a colossal failure for this show not to be on the air. What I do think the show needs, if the show in fact does come back, number one, you need to get rid of Martel. You need to get rid of Martel. He serves no purpose anymore. Without Mel, he has nothing. And then if he's going to finally turn on the people who were defending his shenanigans the most, they're not going to want to film with him. So what would be the point? And then you guys had the audacity to give a rumor that Martell was getting a spinoff. What is Martell going to talk about without Mel in his presence? And what are the Scotts and everybody else going to talk about without Mel in his presence? I don't care if you like or dislike Mel. She continues to be the topic of conversation, whether she's on the episode or not. So how are all these people getting spinoffs when they've based their storylines off of Mel? And prior to that, off of the drama of Mel and Tell. So what are you going to do when Mel and Tell are no longer there? That means you're going to have to open up about your real life instead of discussing everyone else's. And I don't think everyone wants to do that. I think this cast was fine getting a check under the guise of hiding behind Mel and Tell's issues. As long as any of their real tea never got exposed, they did not care. But the problem now is that the Mel and Tell drama had dragged on for so long. And now we have all of these legal issues. We have people getting arrested. We have all of these things that are happening off the show that are not on the show. And why should people tune in if you're not going to show the real? And it's supposed to be a reality show. And then we have Carlos King, basically, daring people to come for him on his Messy Mondays because he now has to do pre-recorded videos so he doesn't get dragged for the obvious setup of which cast members he wants to protect that are his favorites and which one he wants to sell down the river so that they can get bad press. But I stand by that I think this is a negotiation tactic because until there's an official announcement, it's just giving that the show's on the bubble, and it's giving that this cast is on the bubble, and, they want somebody to blame, so who better to blame than Mel? But the thing is, Mel will be all right. Mel just filmed a movie. Mel's producing season 2 of Sharnita's World. Mel's co-owner of a black, streaming network. She doesn't have time for the shenanigans. But like I said, I think this is a negotiation tactic. And I think, this is also to build interest for people to come back and watch the show in November. Remember, every time I report that the ratings were lower than low, and Carlos King would come out with some ridiculous article, either from Deadline or the Huffington Post, like trying to make up these linear numbers that I still have not seen the statistical proof to match, that there was 1.3 million L3 viewers for an episode this season? No. So I definitely think there's more to come with this, but I think certain people are being used to put out a narrative that the show is over altogether, just so that the show can come back in a few weeks and people can have egg on their faces. But you said the show was canceled. You said the show wasn't coming back. And blah, 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 right? Only for the show to be right there in November. Oh, I didn't say the show got canceled. It wasn't coming back in November. I said it's going to get canceled after this season. And then it gets renewed, right? So no. I didn't say that the show was going to get canceled and that it wasn't going to get renewed. I said that it was going to be until they were going to wait and see what happens with the reunion. See how that works, you guys? How the pendulum keeps changing, how the goalpost keeps changing, so that people can try to make it make sense to fit a narrative. So it looks like they threw anything out in the wall that see if it sticks. That if the show gets renewed, oh, well, I told you that they were still that they didn't get their contracts renewed. So I technically didn't say the show got canceled, and then the show did get canceled, but there's no spinoff. Well, there was no guarantee, right? But the timing isn't lost on me, you guys. We're less than a month away of when the show allegedly is supposed to come back. And already the shenanigans have amped up. Because it's interesting to me that if the cast is not going on live, if the cast is not trending on their own for some tomfoolery, here comes a wackadoo story about Love and Marriage Huntsville out of the blue. And some of you eat it up. And this is the same rumor that happens all the time with Love and Marriage Huntsville. About rumors about the show being canceled, rumors about people not getting their contracts. All of these things. So we'll wait and see what happens. But like I said, if the show does come back, they need to revamp the show. And by revamping, I mean they need to like gut most of the cast. If you have to keep a Scots on there, I guess 1.0 over 2.0, because 2.0 is giving nothing. Obviously, if it's a choice between Mel and Tal, obviously Mel would be the obvious choice to go with. And then after that, as far as I'm concerned, we can replace everybody. I know some people are geeked and think that Sunny has secured another season because of Moses being locked up, but it's not the flex that you think it is. Because now it's just going to be everybody dragging her for her poor choices and men and all this and that. That's your problem now and this and that. And it's like, okay. Like it's not going to be interesting. It's not like they're going to show what she does for a living. They're going to be showing her going back and forth with whomever about her man. For her man that's locked up. like it's just nothing but chaos and tomfoolery. So I think this was to get the people going. I think this was to get the people talking. I think this was also in part to get people to spread misinformation. But the bottom line is this is a negotiation tactic at its finest. And for you guys not to forget about the show in November and to tune in so that they can brag about sky-high ratings and then get that official pickup letter that the show would come back. Is what I think it is. I think it is all planned. I think it is all planned because there's so many people, unfortunately, that are gullible and that will continue to listen to certain people, for whatever reasons. But there's been no official announcement, you guys. And as much as I drag this show, as much as I'm irritated with the direction of this show and all of these things, it still is technically, fulfilling the terms of its existing contract. But I do believe the show needs revamped. And the show, for the bulk of it, needs to be recasted. And that they've allowed social media, they've allowed so much to infiltrate the show that the show doesn't even look recognizable anymore. The show has completely lost control and lost focus. It was supposed to be about Black excellence, Black entrepreneurship, and all these things. Instead, it's just nothing but drama. Instead, it's just nothing but mess and chaos and cheating rumors and broken friendships every season. We're tired. Give us something new. Give us something fresh, something innovative that's going to keep our attention. But nonetheless, when people just think that they can throw anything and that you're going to continue to stick around, and then finally all of a sudden we're getting all of these random stories. No. Nothing here is a coincidence, you guys. You really have to just look and pay attention to who the source is and why this is happening now. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.